Hello and welcome to a special edition of our weekly news update. I'm Madhu Soman and let's take a look at the year that was. 2008 was a year which saw the Manmohan Singh government face some of the toughest questions in its 4-year rule. For that matter, some of the questions were asked to the people, the polity and the nation itself.
It was a promising start to the year with the economy growing at well over 8% and the Sensex touching a staggering 21,000 in late January. Inflation was the only worry as global crude prices were near the $100 mark. For its part, the government was confident about handling inflation and announced a 60,000 crore rupee debt relief package for farmers, which became the highlight of the annual budget. But global crude prices showed no signs of moderation and India's inflation too crossed the double-digit mark. What added to the government's problems was pressure from its coalition allies. The Communist parties pulled out over India's historic civilian nuclear deal with the United States and the government's survival was put to the ultimate test. Parliamentary politics in India dipped to a new low when wads of cash were whipped out in the well of the House. Opposition MPs claimed money was used to buy support. The allegations did not stick and the Manmohan Singh government survived the trust vote. But the problems were mounting. The global subprime crisis took its toll and the stock market started crashing as FIIs pulled out billions of dollars. The Sensex has lost more than 60% this year and is now hovering around the 10,000 mark. The economy too was no longer insulated and growth estimates for one of the world's fastest growing economies has been revised downwards. More than anything else, it was the internal security situation that took a turn for the worse. Hundreds of lives were lost as a series of blasts shook various Indian cities. If the bombs in Bangalore, Ahmedabad, New Delhi and Guwahati were blamed on Islamist militants, the needle of suspicion in the Malegaon blast pointed to Hindu extremists. A serving officer of the Indian Army is still being interrogated. But all the violence seemed only a dress rehearsal for what turned out to be the most audacious terror strike in the history of independent India. Armed assailants held India's financial capital hostage for nearly 3 days. 179 people were killed as many of Mumbai's iconic landmarks including the Chhatrapati Shivaji Terminus, Taj Mahal Hotel and the Oberoi Trident came under fire. The lone surviving attacker said he had come from Pakistan and New Delhi has put Islamabad on notice. A worried world is watching and urging restraint as reports emerge of heightened military activity along the border separating the two nuclear-armed neighbors. So does this mean that what had started off as a memorable year will turn out to be one best forgotten? Well, if you look at the sporting arena, it has actually been a good year for Indian sportsmen. The cricket team started off winning the Tri-Series in Australia. The success of the inaugural IPL 2020 league reaffirmed India's preeminence as one of the most powerful forces in the world of cricket. India capped its season with home series wins over both world champions Australia and England, and many Indians now hope that India can actually become number one in world cricket. But that's not all. There was success for other Indian sportsmen too. Abhinav Bindra made the nation proud, winning India's first individual gold in shooting at the Beijing Olympics. While the boxers packed a punch, the wrestlers grappled both fear and pressure to make it one of India's most memorable campaigns in the world's biggest sporting arena. So it has indeed been a rollercoaster year for the country. But what about 2009? What's in store for India and Indians? We are running a look-ahead poll and we have posted a few questions in our year-end special. Do vote, not just in Reuters.co.in, but also when India goes to polls later next year, because that just might be your and India's best chance to set things right. Thanks for watching and have a happy new year.